Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Brother John Stewart on behalf of Lost Sheep Ministries, here to take y'all on another little walk with the word for the day. So I got my ministry tonight. It's a very busy day. I left the house this morning, probably really early this morning. Probably won't get back to like 11, 12 o'clock. So I got to go and get this video in before I start my bus route, because once I start picking my people up, I ain't gonna have no time to do it. And I want to keep this going because I want y'all to have these little daily devotionals. So today I'm just gonna share probably a little bit short of a video, but I'm gonna give you one verse that from my reading last night. It's only one verse, but man, it's a very deep verse. And when I read it, I'm like, oh, this is what I'm gonna share with the people tomorrow. So I'm gonna give you one verse tonight, Psalm chapter 57, verse 4. So in Psalm 57:4, the Lord tells us this. He says, "My soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword." Man, that's deep. That's deep. And I feel the someness, because for those of y'all that don't know me personally, you maybe just know me through the TikTok videos you've been watching here recently, and I appreciate all this started following here lately. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and actually North Memphis to be exact. I had to specify that. North, all my North people out there. You know what I'm saying? So, and because I'm a professional now and I'm a preacher now, people that meet me now where I'm at, when they hear that I'm from Memphis, they automatically assume that I'm from the good parts. You know, I'm from Germantown or Collierville or Bartlett and one of them good areas like that. And I have you know that they couldn't be more farther from the truth. I am from the hood. I am a hood dude. You know what I'm saying? And I lived a block away from one of the worst projects in Memphis at that time. You know, so I spent a lot of my time in those projects because most of my family and friends, that's where they lived there. You know, matter of fact, that's where my dad lived there, and that's where my grandma lived there. And I spent a lot of time over their house when I was a lot younger with my cousins and stuff like that. So, needless to say, I've seen some stuff in my days. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some bad stuff, and I've seen some stuff that's just straight evil. You know what I'm saying? And just about everybody in my life, everybody I was raised around, you know, including my little friends that I went to school with, just about everyone I was raised around was heavily involved in some form of sin or another. You know, I was raised by drug dealers, killers, pimps, prostitutes, addicts, and gang members. You know, and 90% of my time was spent with these type of people, and yet I was still different. You know, because I never had that aggressive attitude or that mean spirit that just about everybody around me had. You know, matter of fact, by hood standards, I might have been considered soft, but I wasn't soft. I just always like to say, you know, I felt like I was a sheep being raised by wolves or being raised among wolves. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what I tell myself. You know, so you got to ask yourself, if a majority of your influence, you're a sheep, and a majority of your influence is coming from the wolves, how do you not become a wolf yourself? And that's what our psalmist was dealing with in his verse today. You know what I'm saying? He was calling out to God, you know what I'm saying, because he was wanting to be good, but everybody around him was so bad. So how do you keep from falling to that trap of just giving in and participating in the same evils of those around you that you see everybody else doing? And the way you do that is you have to focus on the end. You have to look at their end. One of our biggest downfalls, especially as young, immature people, I know teenagers fall into this trap a lot, is we can't see past the right now. And that hurts us a lot. We cannot see past the right now, and we have to learn how to look past the right now. Yes, right now this is fun. Yes, right now this is pleasurable, but sin is only pleasurable for a season. So it don't last forever. But you know what does last forever? Eternity. Eternity lasts forever. So if you can focus on the end of things, it'll be a lot of things that you won't do because you know where you're going to end up at for eternity. And you'll be able to resist the evil influences of this world. And it talks about this over in the book of Psalms. It's this one Psalm, Psalm 73. And this guy, he was kind of going through the same thing, what I'm talking about. And he was talking about how he's seeing all this evil around him and he want to be a part of it because it looked fun. Matter of fact, in Psalm 73, verses 2 and 3, he says this. He says, "But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." So then he goes through this whole, I ain't gonna do the whole verse, I ain't got the time, but he goes through this whole spiel about how the wicked prosper and they always seem to have these good lives and nothing seems to happen to them. And it sounds like he's, you know what I'm saying, you can tell he's envying the wicked. But then he get down to verse 16 and 17 and he makes this profound statement. In verses 16 and 17, he says this, he said, now when I thought to know this, it was just too painful for me until I went into the sanctuary of God. Then I understood their end. See, he saw their end. See, by the grace of God, even at a young age, I was able to understand that the path that everybody else was on wasn't going to end well. You know, and it came true. Like I said, I ain't gonna say, oh man, I was just so smart, I just avoided. No, the grace of God gave me the wisdom to see that the things that these people were doing, it wasn't gonna end well. Just about everybody I grew up with or grew up around are either dead, they're in jail, or you know the D-boys that had all the money and the nice cars and the new joints they came out, all of them now, they're addicts themselves. You know what I'm saying? So the path they was on, it looked good when we was younger. They looked like they were having a ball, but it didn't end well with them. Whereas I look at my life, because I was different, because I took a different path, I'm a professional, like I said, I'm a chemist. I work for a $1 billion corporation. I get to travel all over the world if I need to, because we got companies all over the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm a granddad. I got grandkids I get to hang out with. You know, most people be upset about their gray hairs, but I'm proud of my gray hairs, because there's a lot of dudes that I grew up with that wish they can have gray hairs, but they can't because they passed on before their hair got to turn gray. You know what I'm saying? And it's because they never did see their end. They were just looking at the right now. They was doing things that was good for them right now. You know what I'm saying? But they wasn't looking at their end. And that's what we have to learn how to do. You have to learn how to look past the right now and look at the end. Because this is the thing about sin. Sin is just like a credit card. It's all fun and games while you're spending, but someday soon that bill is going to come due. And are you going to be willing to pay that price you're going to have to pay for those sins you committed? So make sure you focus on the end of the path that the world around you is on and not the right now. So that when your end comes around, it'll be one that you can look forward to. And that has been your little walk with the word for the day. I pray these are blessing y'all. If they are, make sure you like, tag, comment, share, repost. And make sure y'all follow me, man. I appreciate the ones that's been reaching out and been following lately. Make sure y'all follow me, man. Let's get these numbers up so we can get this word out there. Of course, if you want to catch my full sermons, you can catch me on Facebook Live, Monday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then I post them on my Facebook page, and I also put them on my YouTube page. If you want to find out all my little social media outlets, just go to lostsheepministry.com. You can find them all there. And of course, you're not 100% sure about your salvation, reach out to me and let me know. I'll put some time in my schedule to go over the gospel with you. I love you all. Thank you all for being here. And remember to always watch your back and pray. Until next time, peace.